So here my wife was getting her hair cut, and we decided to do it with our baby in our lap. We tried to keep her face out of the shot as much as possible, but see how it went. So first we kind of did a little bit of a consultation to see what we wanted this time versus what we wanted last time when we cut her hair, and this time we wanted it just about as short on the sides and the back as we did before. But nothing off the top, so all I'm doing is snapping on a guard here. This is a 4 for these trimmers, and I just trimmed up the sides and the back to about the same point up top everywhere around. So after we've got it done all the way around, we just got like a rough outline of where we want to be. I sprayed the hair down with some conditioner, and then we're going to go ahead and with the shears take off the sides. So we're basically connecting the sides to the top. I'll do it later on in the cut. What you might also do is connect the sides to the where I'm connecting it here, and then even go up a little bit further, connecting kind of that midsection, or we call it the corners. We didn't do it this time just to make sure that we thought that it maybe looked a little bit more feminine, and so we kept it relatively long on top in the corners. And you can see I'm also going back over where I did before. It's good practice, and I'm just starting to make sure that I go over places that I've gone before and check, not just from the same angle that I did it, but go back the opposite way to make sure that I'm all lined up. So here we're going to use some thinning shears. There's multiple ways to use thinning shears. There's multiple ways to thin hair, and I'll use 2 different ones in this video. So first, I'm using what I'll say is a traditional way to use them. Is I'm just trying to take out some bulky areas. So in the head shape, the head where some bumps are and the bones stick out, when you go over it with some clippers, it cuts hair evenly all the way around, but doesn't account that there's bumps sticking out, right? And so use the thinning shears to kind of thin out and blend some areas that were sticking out. And for her, right behind the ear and above the ear are the, I'll say bumpiest. Is that a nice way of saying it? So if you look straight on from the side, you'll see it kind of looks thin there where I'm thinning it out. But when you look straight on, or even just back up some angles, you don't notice how thin it actually is, but proof there that there is actually some thinning going on. So here I'm doing what I'll call some point cutting, just to kind of thin out this area. I hit it with the thinning shears before and got kind of some flyaway hairs, but here I'm just trying to thin it out. And here we're going to do kind of more of a taper in the back. It's not super, we don't start super low, so we give ourselves some space. So we'll just start with the 1 guard and work our way up to the 3 guard, and the 3 guard open. It's basically where the 4 guard was when we started. So we'll go up to that just for practice sake, just so it'll be even, but then we'll work our way back down with the guards closed. Now these clippers that I have, the lever on it doesn't work, and so I have to manually with my hand push the guard down to where the clipper is actually cutting, and if I want to go in between that, I have to be very careful to kind of move it back and forth. it works out. Makes me feel kind of old-timey. I haven't had too many, if any, mistakes with it though. Now here you can see pretty clearly that I'm using a technique where I'm flicking. I watch a lot of barbers, and I won't mention a bunch of names, but I watch tons of videos on YouTube where I learn the flicking technique. And I'm trying to flick out. We don't, for this one, want to create too many harsh guidelines. And so we're trying to just make the blending as easy and simple as possible. Also kind of got to get out of here soon because the baby's moving around a bunch. The baby, it's my baby. But so we're just going over trying to make it as simple as possible. That's why we didn't go as low. And here I'm just trying to have her maneuver her head in such a way that it's easier for me to, you know, get all the different angles and make it as smooth as possible, because her neck is really small, and I find a lot of women's necks are really small, whereas men, you got like a wide flat area to work with in the back of the head. It, for me, is the most fun part to blend in, but for women with this with these clippers, they're kind of large and it's hard to get into the cracks and crevices. So, you know, do what you can. And then after we do this, we're going to go ahead and line up the edges here. And to do that, we're only going to do it in the back, not the front. I created a line with my shears, and then I went back and used the clippers to make it a little bit more defined and kind of clean up the hairs around so it looks sharp. But you'll see how clean the line looks there, and I think after you see the line there, it really pulls it together. So you'll see here, clipping away, creating kind of a guideline for myself, and then I come around with the scissors or the clippers, and that line does look crispy. So here, we weren't done with the cut, but I just want to make sure we were heading in the right direction as we were finishing up. Everything looked good, and so I was just going to clean up some areas where I saw that there was some bulk. One area at the top of the head was a little thick, and so I went in there, not only, you'll see what I'm doing right here, I'm not only thinning it, but I actually went up a little bit higher on this side just to accommodate the head shape and where we wanted less hair. So, you know, first I kind of got the silhouette where I wanted it. I kind of got the shape of the hair. Now I'm kind of going in and detailing where are some problem areas, just some things that we don't like, some minor things that can be fixed. You know, and if it's a really big deal, you might want to take the note of those before. The advantage I have is I've cut her hair a couple of times, so I kind of know where the problem areas are and what I need to watch out for. And so that just makes it simple for me to know what to watch out for. And so we're just going to blow dry our hair. We style it, and then before putting any gel and anything in there, I went in there and thinned it again because, you know, it's good to check the hair. It's good to make sure, you know, you get it how you want to get it, because after it's cut, after they leave, there's not much you can do. In this case, I can because she's my wife, and I can do haircuts on her whenever I want, but you know, you don't always have that chance. And here's the finished product. So we kept the back and the sides low, kept the top high. We tried to keep the edges in the front very feminine. You can see where the thinning areas are. in the front. They make her look, the silhouette looks really nice, and I really like this one. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, all that jazz.